Welcome to the Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, where every cup tells a story, and every story starts with a sip. Join us on a journey of adventure, camaraderie, and of course, the finest brews, served hot and steeped in mystery. From dragons to ancient legends, we're brewing up more than just coffee. Today's tale begins beside a quiet fire, where the weight of unspoken thoughts meets the steady rhythm of flame and patience. In a tavern built on more than wood and stone, even the stillest moments can shape what is yet to come. And sometimes, the strongest bonds are forged not in action, but in the choice to be still. Now, grab your mug, settle in, and get ready for the next chapter in our brewing saga. Season 2, Episode 15, A Quiet Watch. The tavern carries the easy rhythm of evening, voices rising and fading in conversation, chairs shifting across wooden floors, and the steady warmth of the hearth anchoring the room in light and comfort. Near the center, the cauldron nest rests beside the fire. The green dragon egg within remains still, its surface catching the firelight in soft, shifting reflections.
I'm telling you, if you steep it longer, it does make a difference.
Or you've just convinced yourself it does.
Both can be true, you know.
Their voices blend into the broader sound of the tavern, part of the living current of the space. Braticus O'Relious stands nearby, half engaged in the room, though his attention drifts intermittently toward the hearth. He glances toward the fire, then toward the cauldron nest, then back to the group.
Sounds like you three are solving the mysteries of brewing without me.
Only some of them.
Ah, then I'm clearly missing out.
There's no urgency in his tone. No insistence to join or withdraw. Just presence. He exhales, briefly rolling his shoulders as if settling something unseen, then steps away from the table.
Braticus?
Just tending to something.
He does not elaborate. Instead, he moves toward the hearth. The ambient sound of the tavern continues behind him, conversation resuming its natural flow as attention returns to its many small moments. Braticus lowers himself beside the cauldron nest, settling into a grounded seated position near the warmth. His movements are deliberate and unhurried, as though he has already decided exactly how he intends to spend the next portion of his time.
Steady ground. Steady flame.
He studies the fire first, then the supports around the nest, and finally allows his gaze to rest on the egg. There is no visible response from it. No glow. No movement. But Braticus remains. Not as a guard. Not as a duty. But as a choice.
Let's keep you comfortable, then.
And while the tavern carries on behind him in conversation and motion, Braticus O'Relious settles into place beside the fire, not stepping away from the world around him, but choosing a quieter part of it. The warmth of the hearth settles into a steady rhythm, the fire no longer competing with the noise of the room, but existing alongside it, constant, reliable. Braticus remains seated beside the cauldron nest, his posture relaxed but intentional. One hand rests loosely against his knee while the other reaches forward, adjusting a small piece of wood at the edge of the fire. He watches how the flame responds, how it leans, how it settles.
Too much, and you'll burn through it. Too little, and you'll lose it altogether.
His voice is low, not meant to carry beyond the space he occupies. Whether he speaks for the egg or for himself is unclear. Behind him, the tavern continues.
No, you have to try it this way at least once.
I prefer my experiments to be intentional.
And yet, you're still here.
The sound reaches him, and for a moment, the corner of Braticus's mouth lifts, just slightly. But he does not turn. Instead, his attention returns to the fire, then to the cauldron nest. He shifts forward a fraction, examining the way the heat settles around it.
Warmth should hold. Not press.
He makes a small correction, barely more than a nudge, ensuring the nest remains stable, the heat evenly distributed. It is careful work. Practiced. Not the movements of someone guessing, but of someone who understands balance. A quiet stretch of time passes. Braticus leans back just enough to settle into stillness. His gaze rests on the egg now, not searching, not expecting, simply present.
Strange thing.
He studies the smooth surface, the way the firelight moves across it.
No rush. No worry. Just waiting.
He exhales slowly, matching the rhythm of the flame.
Could learn something from that.
The words are quieter now. Not commentary, reflection. Behind him, the tavern carries on as it always does. Life, conversation, motion. But here, beside the fire, Braticus begins to let that movement pass without following it. His breathing evens. His shoulders settle. The tension he carried, subtle, unspoken, does not vanish, but it begins to loosen its hold.
Not everything needs answering tonight.
The egg remains still. The fire remains steady. And for the first time since he sat down, so does he. Time moves differently at the edge of the fire. The tavern has not quieted entirely, but its energy has softened, conversations slower, laughter less frequent, the kind that lingers rather than bursts. Braticus remains where he is, settled beside the cauldron nest. The rhythm he has found holds, breath, flame, stillness. For a while, he says nothing. Then,
Stillness isn't something you start with.
his gaze remains on the fire, though the words are meant for more than it.
Takes practice. Failing at it more times than you'd care to admit.
He rests his forearms lightly against his knees, leaning forward just enough to feel the heat more directly.
I used to think discipline meant pushing harder, moving faster, getting there first.
A faint, knowing breath escapes him, not quite a laugh, but close.
Turns out, that's just another way to lose your footing.
He glances briefly toward the egg, its surface unchanged, reflecting the firelight in quiet patterns.
Rushed a decision once. Thought I saw the whole path laid out.
He pauses there, not for effect, but because the memory holds weight.
But I didn't.
A longer breath this time. Measured. Controlled.
It cost more than it should have.
He does not elaborate. He doesn't need to. The way his shoulders settle again says enough. This is not a wound freshly made, but neither is it forgotten. His attention shifts, not away from the thought, but through it. He reaches forward once more, adjusting a piece of wood with the same care as before. The flame responds, leaning, then stabilizing.
Fire doesn't care how certain you feel. It answers what you do, not what you meant to do.
The words settle into the space between him and the hearth. Not regret. Not self-judgment. Just understanding. Behind him, a chair scrapes lightly.
You're still up?
For a bit.
Everything all right?
There's no immediate answer, but not because he avoids the question. Because he considers it.
Working through it.
I'm okay.
No pressure. No probing. Just acknowledgement. Braticus watches the fire a while longer, then lets his gaze return to the egg.
Not your concern, I suppose. But you've got the right idea.
The egg remains still in its nest, untouched by urgency, untouched by doubt. Waiting. Not passively, but completely. Braticus exhales once more, slower than before. Whatever weight he carried into this space has not disappeared, but it has changed shape. Less sharp. Less pressing. Something he can hold without being pulled off balance. And for now, that is enough. Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors.
Adventurers, travelers, and coffee lovers alike. Welcome to Dungeon Brew Coffee. Whether you crave the boldest brew, a magical chai, or a sweet spice cider, we've got something to fuel every quest. Sip it at home with our online blends, or catch us live at events across Virginia, and soon in West Virginia and North Carolina, as we bring the tavern experience straight to you. And here's a little extra loot for your journeys. Keep your lemonade cup and bring it back to any event we're at and save $1 on your refill. That's one more treasure for your pocket. So, whether you're chasing dragons or deadlines, make Dungeon Brew Coffee your first stop, because every great day begins with a magical cup in hand.
And now, back to our show. The night deepens, and with it, the space around the hearth grows quieter, not empty, but settled. What remains is steady, grounded, undisturbed. Braticus does not move from his place beside the cauldron nest. His breathing has slowed, evened, no longer matching the noise of the tavern, but something more constant. The same rhythm as the fire. The same quiet patience as the egg before him. For a time, there are no words. Then, something changes. Not in the room. Not in the tavern. But in the space between stillness and awareness. The warmth at the edge of the cauldron nest deepens, subtle enough to question, but distinct enough to notice. Braticus's gaze lifts slightly. He does not lean in. He does not reach out. He simply pays attention.
There you are.
The egg remains still, no crack, no movement. And yet, something within it seems to answer, not in motion, but in presence. A faint shift in warmth. A quiet, steadying pulse that doesn't disturb the air, but changes how it feels. Braticus straightens just slightly, his posture aligning, not rigid, not tense, but intentional. Aware.
No need to rush.
His voice carries no command. No expectation. Only recognition. He lifts one hand, pausing just short of the cauldron's edge. Not touching. Not imposing. Respecting the boundary. There is no attempt to take hold of the moment. No need to prove it is happening. Only the choice to remain present within it.
Strength comes in its time. Not before.
The fire responds, not flaring, not dimming, but aligning. Its movement steadies, the flames rising and falling in a quiet, consistent rhythm. And for a brief moment, Braticus matches it. Still. Grounded. Unshaken. Whatever rests within the egg does not emerge. It does not strain or test the shell. It simply is. And in that shared stillness, something passes between them, not knowledge, not understanding, but recognition.
Good.
The moment does not linger. It does not demand to be held. Like the flame, it shifts, settles, and becomes part of the whole. Braticus lowers his hand, resting it once more against his knee. He does not chase the feeling. He does not question it. He simply remains steady as before, but not unchanged. And beside him, within the cauldron nest, the egg rests in silence. No movement, no sound, only the faintest trace of warmth that lingers just a moment longer than it did before. The moment passes without ceremony. The fire resumes its natural rhythm, no longer perfectly aligned, no longer marked by anything unusual. Just flame, as it has always been. Braticus remains seated a while longer, his posture unchanged to any casual glance. But the stillness he holds now is not the same as before. It is settled. Chosen. Patches returns to the hearth, her movements light but deliberate. She slows as she nears, taking in the scene, the steady fire, the balanced nest, and Braticus, seated in quiet watch.
You've been here a while.
Have I?
Everything holding together?
This time, he does glance toward her. Not distant. Present.
Fire steady. Heat's right where it should be. It's comfortable.
Patches follows his gaze to the egg. It sits as it always has, still, silent, unchanged to the eye. But she nods, as though the answer is enough.
Good.
She does not ask more. Whatever passed here, she trusts it doesn't need explaining.
Get some rest.
Braticus shifts his weight, rising in one smooth, practiced motion. He takes one last look at the fire, then at the egg. Not checking. Not questioning. Just acknowledging.
Stay your course, little one.
Whether it is meant for the egg, or something within himself, he does not clarify. He turns, stepping away from the hearth. As he passes, the tavern continues in its softened evening state, Java's voice now quieter, Nived's responses less sharp, the kind of conversations that drift rather than carry. Nothing has changed. And yet, behind him, within the cauldron nest, the egg gives the slightest response. No crack. No movement. Just a quiet, steady warmth that lingers for a moment longer than it should. Patches pauses, her hand resting lightly near the edge of the cauldron. She doesn't turn. Doesn't call out. Only listens. Then, like the last ember settling into ash, it fades. The fire continues. The tavern breathes on. And Braticus O'Relious, having come to the hearth with weight on his mind, leaves it steadier than he arrived.
Don't forget to hit the like button.
Yeah! And maybe drop a comment. It's like getting something in the mail. Gotta love getting some mail from your friends, right?
Maybe they don't like us, Nived. You shouldn't expect everyone to like us.
Not like us? Inconceivable. Who doesn't like a team as amazing as us? Or baby dragons at the very least.
We must let them decide. We can only play our part. And hope.
The fire is low, the mugs are empty, and tonight's tale has come to an end. But the journey is far from over. Thank you for gathering with us at Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, where adventure brews with every sip. Join us next time as new challenges arise, mysteries deepen, and the magic of the tavern unfolds. If you enjoyed this taste of adventure, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell so you never miss a new episode. We'll save a seat for you at the tavern. See you soon.